All right, we are live.
Woohoo!
All right.
Yep, there we go. All right. So what are you guys up to lately? It's been a couple weeks since I've been here.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
has.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
How was your speaking? Where were you speaking?
I was speaking at Vegas. It's called the Conference of Masculine Excellence. It's like the first time they're putting on the conference. It was pretty good.
Mhm.
It was the talk went really well, and yeah, it was good time. So
Good deal.
but I haven't done a lot since then. I need to get. Well, I mean, I've been on the road, so I need to get back on track here.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, well, my wife got me a new smoker, so I've been playing with that this morning.
Nice.
Yeah, I have a brisket running right now, so
Oh, okay. I'm coming over to your house for dinner.
yeah, come on over. Of course, you flew back to Florida. Could have just driven up here, but yeah. I've just been working on, getting more sponsorship, getting more client or customers for the accelerator, stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, some of it's been a little bit tough with the way that things went with work over the last few weeks, but I'm getting back into it and starting to push content out again for it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been nice to be able to get back to it and just kind of nail it down. So kind of look through the numbers. I think I looked through them with Manny last week, and the big conversion gap now is get from people getting on the list and filling out the form. Yeah, I need to get more people to fill out the form. So I figured that they get on the email list and they're getting the emails, so I need to see if I can get that to convert better.
Okay.
So I'm working on those emails and getting them written, because I didn't really do a great job with them before. And so once I get that figured out, then I just need to get as many people into the top of the funnel as possible. Those are the two problems I'm working on solving. And the one I'm doing with the content, I think I'm going to start emailing the list more, because I have like 5,300 people on my email list, and see if I can get more of them to convert. And then the other thing I've been doing is just trying to hire people to take some more stuff off my plate. And if I can, I'm also looking to bring people in for some of the other stuff that I kind of have in my long-term vision for DevChat. But if I can't find somebody to kind of take on most of that work, I'm probably not going to even spend any energy on it. So I just sent an email out to my list just to see who was interested in doing that, right? Helping, build some of these communities around the shows, and stuff like that. And yeah, so if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
How much time are you spending on DevChat right now?
On the podcast and stuff.
Total.
Not a ton. I probably spend on a weekly basis.
Everything, content, marketing, podcast.
Yeah.
Other than the mastermind.
Right. A few hours, probably.
So then why are you hiring? What are you trying to hire for?
Well, so one of the things that I spend some time on that I don't always get to is just making sure that there are show notes written for each of the shows going out for the week.
But that's more of the editor's job, right? Your person who's putting out those show notes on the website?
I haven't had them doing it. I probably should just see if Michaela can do it. See how she does writing the show notes.
Yeah, you're just like, you might unnecessarily end up revving up your engines, hiring people, because hiring people isn't as simple as, oh, here you go, do this.
Oh, I know.
It's going to be a lot of back and forth, like a lot of challenges with that. So unless you have clearly defined challenges that like with your time usage right now, I would focus on the lanes that are making you money and spend all your time over there, or
Right.
hiring efforts over there rather than worrying about building community on dev chat. That's the least of your worries, unless that is making you money. I don't know what
Right.
John has to say about that, but I don't believe spending time on that part of the business right now is really worth your time.
What do you think,
Yeah.
John?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, you need to focus on the thing that in fact, I just did a video in the Bulldog Mindset membership today on focus, right? And talking about like, how do you pick a focus and how important it is to have something, and you pick the focus based on like the 80-20 rule, right? It's
Right.
like, what is the thing that's producing 80% of the results? So focus on that. In fact, some of the other things you just drop completely, because they're not even
Right.
worth any amount of focus. So yeah, so focus on the primary thing. You got to look at everything you're doing and say, especially when you have limited time like you do right now, right? Because you have a crunch. So you have to say, okay, every hour that I'm spending, is it on a high value activity or not, right? That's actually producing results right now, because you don't have the ability to waste that time.
That's true.
And the high value should be measured by the money it makes in your business, not so much by any other results it's producing in your business. Because if it's just quote unquote community work, it's not putting money in your pocket, that's for sure. Not right now. Maybe that's a long-term play, but right now I would put more effort on the short-term play of growing your mastermind and growing your sponsorships. So anything,
I hear you
if
there.
you can hire people for those, that's where it would make any kind of sense.
Yeah, I feel like I ought to spend at least a little bit of time on the long-term stuff, and that's all I've really done is just, it's like, hey, and it was to my list basically, and just saying, hey, does anyone want to help me in these specific areas, and then maybe work out some way to make it worth it. But like I said, if I can't do it and dedicate less than 5 or 10% of my time to it,
there's no, like, that 5 or 10% of time should be used on sponsorships and mastermind, because that 5 or 10% of time is not getting you any returns on your investment, even in the next 3 to 6 months, if not a year, from what you said in terms of what you're hiring for.
I see what you're saying. I feel like you have to put some effort into long term.
Yeah, but this long term, like, you don't even know how this plays out in the long term. Like, what's the value for you in the long term for something like this compared to the value of being able to run, traffic to your most important offer, your mastermind offer, right? Any time spent on that is time highly used, or any time spent on sponsorship is time highly used. But any time spent here is just time you're not going to get back, and the results are questionable at that point.
Yeah, I guess I see it as a way to bring more traffic to DevChat and thereby to these offers, is kind of the way I was looking at it. But
okay, so map it out for me. What's that person going to do? And how's that going to add more traffic?
Well, mostly it's outreach. So it's and doing some of the technical expert stuff that I have to chime in on for stuff. So effectively, they'd be doing some of the community outreach. They'd be doing some of the, like, to the contributors in the community and things like that, making sure that our topics on the podcasts are the things that people want to hear about and stuff like that. I can do that for a couple of the shows, but I don't have time to do it for all of the shows. And some of the shows I feel like have suffered because of that. And if I can get that going, then it increases the traffic that we get. And then, as we get more people in, then I can,
your
sell them on the
not
mastermind
the problem,
and things
my
like
friend.
that.
But the traffic was not the problem at all. So why are you trying to solve the traffic problem when the conversion is the problem?
That's fair.
You're already getting $100,000 a week, or whatever that number is, $200,000 a month, right? Something like that total.
Yeah, I need to look at that number again. I know it's not as high as it used to be, and I guess that's part of the issue that I have. But Yeah, what you're telling me is that may not actually matter.
Well, traffic is not a problem for the business right now.
Right.
And, to expend effort and resources on something that's not even a problem, or that's not going to bring ROI, and that's not a clearly defined problem, it's just going to rev up engines for no good reason for you, compared to expending energy and resources on something like sponsorships. And like here's the challenge your business has. For the amount of traffic you have, the revenue is not mapping.
Right.
So you trying to solve the traffic problem is not going to solve the revenue problem. The conversion is your problem is not a traffic problem. Your problem is traffic to revenue problem. Whether you solve that revenue problem, the traffic to revenue problem through sponsorships, or whether you solve it through Mastermind or whatever it is, you have to solve that problem, not the first problem.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, most of my effort by far has been on getting people into the mastermind, because
that's it. Yeah, and the sponsorships, whatever you're doing, I'm not sure how much.
I haven't been able to put as much effort into that as I'd like.
So what is it that you have to do on the sponsorship front other than taking calls?
Yeah, I've been the one who's been having to send the emails out and do the outreach and try and get them scheduled and stuff like that. I don't know. I should hire somebody to do that.
Whatever her name is, why can't she do it for you?
That's true.
See, that's the area that has the leverage for money. Mm-hmm. And you're discounting that area and you're hiring for some area that doesn't really have that much value for your business. So why would you do that? If anything, you should be expending resources on getting more leads so that you can have more calls. Your job is to get more calls. No. For sponsorships, your job is not to get more calls. Your job is to close more of those calls. Your job is to get on the call and close the call. Your business should do the remaining, as in your employees should do the remaining. Mm-hmm. Same for the mastermind, except that in the case of the mastermind, you actually need to do the marketing to get people on the call. Right. So if you think about your business in like 3 different silos, the traffic, then converting the traffic into showing up for call, and then the call to money. Your job is call to money on both the sponsorship front and the mastermind front. But then your job is also from traffic to call on the mastermind side of things. Right. But traffic to call overall for sponsorship should be someone else, because why are you just pressing send on emails and finding new emails? That's just that's a terrible use of your time.
No, that's true. You are correct. I should definitely be doing that. I'll have to train Michaela on doing that, and just hand it off.
Yeah, you should. This is classic, right? This is a classic problem. Like I see this, like you're spending energy on the creation, on the traffic side of as a content creator. That's what people want to do. That's what we all enjoy doing. You're spending energy on the creation, not on the marketing and the sales side. But that's where the revenue is. That's where all the money is. So anything you can do to move yourself on the 80-20 curve to the higher end of the 80-20 curve is super critical for your business. And the 80-20 curve says like what produces the highest ROI for every hour. Anything you can do to move from left to right of the 80-20 curve is your job. And the highest ROI activities for you are are basically being on a call. If you could have 20 calls a week, you will have a ridiculous business.
That's true.
Whether it is a sponsorship call, whether it's a mastermind call, if you can have 20 calls a week, you are in business big time.
Yeah.
Right now, if you spend all your energy on getting calls and closing calls, that's all your job is. Everything else is a waste of time.
No, that's true.
I guess it kind of comes down to what I was looking at, and I need to implement this as well, but I've been thinking about this lately, is just having like one KPI at a time.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, let's look at everything and let's say, okay, what's one thing we could focus on that, and it doesn't even have to be the best thing. It just has to be a identifiable thing. Right. So like I was looking at my YouTube videos with my editor and he was like, oh, the drop off rate is like 80% of people drop off in the first 30 seconds. So I thought, well, what if we just make the KPI to make it 75%? Like that's what we're going for. Like that'll move it 5%. Now that has a cascading, that might not be the best thing to focus on in the business, but focusing on that one thing and having that focus will lead to downstream effects, right? That we can now measure, or maybe we get to that point and now we know how to do that. And then we're like, okay, well, what's another KPI we could pick? And then just start focusing on that. So it's the same thing here, I think, is that like, if you just make your KPI, right? I mean, I guess you've got two possible candidates here, right? It could be percentage of calls that you get, right? Or percentage of calls closed.
Right.
So choose between one of those. I think either one of those would be a fine place to start, but just pick one of those and make everything that you're doing right now, that you're focusing on the business, like make that the primary thing that you're trying to do. Is just like, let's say that the average number of calls that you get as a percentage of your list, or whatever, however you're going to measure this, is like 20%. Then what can you do to get that to like 30%, right? And just focus everything on that one indicator.
Yeah. And I would add to that saying you're currently getting more volume of calls is probably the best bet for your business.
I agree.
More calls.
Yeah.
Everything else, you should be like, throw it away, mentally throw it away. Just focus on getting more calls.
Right.
So if you are the one sending out those emails to 100 people, if you didn't do any of that work, all you had to do was field 10 calls, your life would be like 10 times better.
Yep. No, it's true.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, I know what I'm going to push on Michaela's plate next.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
How's your thing going, Manny?
It's good, man. I mean, good and challenging at the same time. We have 110 members. It's been a month.
Damn.
Launch.
That's good. 110 members. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, good and bad. 110 members doesn't even cover the working costs of the business. But
that's some pretty fast growth, right? Like within 1 month. I mean, I feel like that's going to grow pretty right. Like, because you're getting word of mouth referrals with this type of business too. So
yeah, we're getting word of mouth as well. And of course, there's incentives for people to do that. But people do believe, like people who become converts, they want their friends there as well.
Exactly.
They want their friends to work with them. So it's getting there. Word of mouth is the ultimate game. If we can get people to clearly define the benefits to the world. But 110 right now. And I really need to figure out ways to do the promotions. Like one of the things I was thinking, okay, Father's Day, right? This weekend.
Yeah.
So I want to do currently the offer is a free 7-day trial, but now I'm playing with different possibilities of offers. So I'm thinking, okay, can we do a Father's Day trial of 1 month for a reduced amount, for like a $7 trial for Father's Day, just Father's Day special or something like that? Because I know you've tried a lot of pricing. So what do you like? Because we are at $33 a month right now, and I would love to figure out. You do $7 trial for the month, right?
Yeah, for the first month.
That's been the best for you so far.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, I did $1 trial for like a promotion that had a very high churn rate, but I mean, overall, like there's still people from the $1 trial, right? It's like if I look at the $1 trial, the total revenue, let me see what it was.
Yeah, that's the only metric, because you're not running cold traffic to it, so it doesn't even matter. The only thing is,
so the total revenue is $7,100 on the $1 trial. So it's not bad. I mean,
how many people did you? Well, any other metric? There is no other metric. The only metric is 7,100. But the only comparable metric is, what if you had run another promotion, and how much would you have?
Exactly. Right. Because there's 121 people in the $1 trial. So it's working out to the LTV on that cohort right
$60.
now is $60. So,
but that'll only change over time. It'll only get better over time.
Right. As I mean, more people will drop off. It had a higher, $1 trial had a very high drop off on the first month, right? So you could do stuff like that. I mean, with yours, I think something like, the whole idea, what I'm thinking, especially with yours, right? You got to think about it this way, is it's like there's two psychological factors to look at, or two factors. One is you need to get people in so they can experience it, because yours is sort of like a addictive type of, like, if
We're
you
selling
can
cocaine.
onboard them. But you have to have a really good onboarding, which it looks like you do, right? Because if you get people to integrate this into their daily workflow, they can never not into it. You know what I mean? It's like it becomes a tool that they have to use. So your retention rate should be high on that. So if you can even get them in for free, right? Like, you might be better off with a free, but then you have them, or maybe it's $1, right? So you have some amount of accountability, so they've actually made some kind of a purchase. But you could even try with free, because if you onboard them and they actually integrate it into their business, they're not going to be able to live without it at that point. So the price won't matter. And then the second thing is that you're going to have a certain number of people, and no matter what you do, that they're just going to forget that they signed up for this thing and just pay the monthly fee, right? I mean, every business that has subscription has to operate knowing that, especially gyms and stuff like that. So, but I think that in your case, like, it doesn't benefit you to have the trial be at a higher price, right? To filter, because you don't really need to filter people, right? It's like you just, when people see it or do it, then they will see the value, or they won't. And if they do see the value, they're going to stick. So you just need to get as many people in as possible. So, I mean, if you could get people in for free, that might even be the way to go with it, and try that out and see, if you get a whole bunch of people in there, you're going to probably get a decent stick rate.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right there. Like, I literally I was talking to my team and I was like, we're selling cocaine. We're literally selling cocaine, because that's the way cocaine is sold. Chuck knows all about it from the hoods. You go, you hand
from the
it
Utahs.
Chuck was selling cocaine before he got into guard and all that stuff. So before he converted. So the way Chuck told me was that you go and you stand on the streets, you give out cocaine for free, and you let people have a taste for it or feel for it, and then you do it for a few more times, and now people are so hooked they can't live without it. And that's what we need to do. So finding out ways to hand it out so that people can, people realize I can't even live without this shit anymore. That's going to be our salvation in this case. That's how we go from being coke dealers to being to salvation again, as Chuck would think about it, right? So the question,
God's more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah, well, so said Chuck. We would need to talk to some cocaine users before we can make that conclusion, Chuck.
Fair.
Or we would need to convert you into a, cocaine user to give us the difference. 1 month on cocaine and 1 month on God, and tell us which one worked better, which one was more addictive, which one you can let go of easily.
Just take ayahuasca and you can have both.
I've heard about that too. But this is basically cocaine selling. Like, that's what I was reading. 50 Cent's biography. He talks about that. I think it was that book or maybe some other. You have to give away cocaine for free in order to get people hooked. And I feel like Focusbox is exactly. Once people get hooked, you just cannot work without. Like, you need it. It becomes an integral part of your life because you see the tremendous boost. The question is, if we give free trials, people don't use enough of it. Like, people don't even get into it. People don't sink their teeth into it and use it. So it's like the challenging situation is, like, if I give it away for free and you don't use it, you will never be a customer and you will just walk away without really using it. So how do I do that? Right? If only we can get them to use is the biggest challenge we have.
Well, you could do, I mean, it gets complicated, but I think with the volume of people that you have coming in, and if you have good onboarding, then coming in free, it'll still work. There's a certain number of people that are going to, that are never going to do anything, that you never would have got them anyway. So I don't know if it's as much of a problem, but you could have a deposit that someone puts down and then refund them when they show up for their first focus block. It's a little complicated though. I'm hesitant to recommend that because it's like, what are you gonna?
So one thing I was thinking along the same lines, and it sounds you and I are thinking about the same thing. I have actually written an email. I was like, if you do 10 focus blocks within the first week, we'll give you a $33 Amazon gift card.
Ooh, that's smart. That's interesting. Yeah.
Because we can track your usage. We know exactly who's in each of the focus blocks. If you do them 10, we're going to give you $33. Because we know if you do that, you're never going away from focus blocks.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good investment. Yeah, that's a pretty good investment. It also, see, there's a couple of things that happen there as well. I mean, obviously you're getting them hooked on it because they have to put in the commitment, and it's also a challenge. So they're more likely to want to, to get their challenge. The other thing you're doing with it too is that you're creating sort of an obligation, right? Like a goodwill, because it's like the Hare Krishna is giving out the flower. It's like, you're like, well, they're like, well, I can't really just cancel this membership now. They just gave me a $33 gift card. You know what I'm saying? So it creates a more sticky, stickiness. I wonder if you should make it so that it's that you don't say what the amount of the gift card will be.
Well, we can do it in proportion to the numbers, but I want them to do at least 2 a day. So I want them to do 10 in the first week. The key is to get them within the first week, right?
Yeah, no, you tell them 10, they have to do 10, but then you'll say, we'll give you an Amazon gift card that,
well, if people don't know the number, then they're going to be skittish. They're going to like, what, $1 gift card? Screw that.
But they'll be surprised when it's $33 but they want to figure out what it is. Part of the mystery is like, what is the gift card?
Okay. Interesting.
If you can somehow hint that it'll be like above a certain amount.
So in this case, would I be doing it such that it's like, it's a free trial and then I'm also giving a $33 Amazon gift card? Or is it like after you pay your monthly due, I'll give the $33 as a gift card?
I think the best way to go would be to actually do the free trial. I mean, it's a long lead time on it, but if you do the free trial plus the gift card, that should produce the best results, right? Because you'll have the widest funnel at the top, right? And you'll be getting people that maybe wouldn't pay attention and do it to actually do the work.
So we almost have to advertise it on the top of the funnel.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of people who are freebie seekers who are going to join because of that. And we can limit it by saying it's only available to the first 50 people who do it this week. Only to 50 people this week. So there's actually some sort of a urgency.
Scarcity. Yeah.
To act on it. And we can be like, only if you act out, like you must turn your camera on, you must make the commitments, you must play by the rules. If you do that, you get your $33 gift card by the end of the week or within a week.
Yeah. And
we're going to get a lot of freebie users, freeloaders, who will probably take the money and never come back again.
It'd be hard for them to do 10 focus sessions and then
that's dedication right there.
I should actually send it out only to our customers because we know those people will pay.
To your customers? Oh, to the customers of your other product? I don't know. I mean, it's a worthwhile experiment you think you're going to get a lot of, like, you're not going to get a lot of freeloaders that are going to just sit for 10 sessions.
But there are students who would actually love using it, do it for 10 sessions, get the money, but they can't afford it, right? Because we got people who can't afford something like this as well.
But you might as well use it for everyone. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, there'll be people that would just not be able to. Yeah.
So the little bit of qualification is needed.
Yeah, that's true.
To make sure we get the quality people in there who are not going to abuse it, who are not that they're not going to abuse it. They just don't have any intentions of being able to pay for it.
Right.
Because
exactly.
They just can't, or they are not in a state in their life today that they will pay for it because they're students or whatever that might be, or they're in a job where they just don't or can't use, whatever that reason is. There will be people who will not pay. And I don't want that to become the majority. Like, I don't want people to just do it just because they want to get that $33 gift card. I want that to be an incentive, part of the incentive, but not the whole incentive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That makes
They
sense.
want the productivity, and this is just the extra nudge to get them to take action.
Yeah. So how do we qualify those users is the question. So we give it only to the right people. The other way we could do it is as soon as people sign up is when we hit them with that offer.
Yeah, which you could do, but that's not really going to solve the problem of qualification because you're going to offer the free.
No. As soon as
Yeah.
people sign up, if people have already
Oh.
signed up.
It's a retention thing, then not a.
Yeah, but see, okay, don't worry about like focus on one KPI.
Right.
Right? What do you want to do?
That sounds familiar.
wanna get-
Did we hear that before?
Do you want to get more people? Because here's the ones that you could have. Get more people signing up for trials. That's one
Mhm.
KPI. The
Right.
second one would be convert trials to active memberships.
So annuals
And then-
lifetimes.
Yeah. And then a third KPI would be retention, overall retention, increase LTV or retention rate in second month or third month or fourth month or
Mhm.
wherever it is.
Mhm.
You could, so you got to figure out which one is most important to you right now.
Yeah, right now it's growth. Like there's not everything else is good, but growth is the ultimate. But also
So-
like retention is the second, like it's right behind it. And if
Okay.
we figure out something, we just plug it into retention.
So growth is number one then, right?
Mhm.
So that would mean getting people onto trials.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you can look at your numbers right now and see what percentage of people you have converting to trials or like to trial, right? Just taking the trial. And then like a guaranteed move to increase that KPI would be to make the trial free.
Yeah. Make the trial
Right,
free.
that'll-
Like currently the trial is free for 7 days. So you're
Right.
saying make the trial free for a month?
Yeah.
So make the trial free for a month. And then as soon as they join, then give them the Amazon gift card.
Well, the Amazon gift card doesn't contribute to that KPI at all, unless you offer it up front, unless you say when you join, if you do the first 10 sessions, you'll get this Amazon gift card.
So maybe to tap into our existing customers, I can actually use the Amazon gift card strategy. I just don't want to use that for the wider audience that's not gonna like, it's the qualification there is not clear is the challenge I'm running into right now.
Yeah, I suppose like what you could do is, I don't know, like, because you got to think about it this way. This is how you determine that. Like, should you give this great offer to everyone, even unqualified people? The answer to that question is based on how much will it increase your overall? Because there'll be some freeloaders. There'll be some people who are just from third world countries who are not going to be able to pay their $33 a month. But will there be more people that this is such a great offer that it gets them in, that compensates, subsidizes those people that you have to pay the money to that don't do anything?
Yeah.
I guess the question is, would you pay $33 for a solid lead?
Yeah, all day long, right? We would pay,
Okay.
like, why not? Yeah.
Then
But the thing
you've
is-
got the answer,
is it-
because anyone who goes through 10 sessions
Mhm.
is a solid lead. So if you would pay $33 for a solid lead, then those are solid leads.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Like that, it makes them a solid lead. They're qualified just by the fact that they went through 10 sessions. Now, does that mean that they're actually going to pay afterwards? No, but let's say you just took an average person, right? That just
Mhm.
went into your funnel. Okay. What's the chances that they're going to convert to a long-term customer? Let's say that it's like, I would say probably with yours is probably like 60 or 70% you probably have after the trial, your retention, right? First month retention.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So if you take that percentage, let's say it's 60%. Okay. Then if you took someone who had gone through 10 sessions and you said, what is their likelihood of converting to trial? It might be like 90%.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
those leads are so much better. So if you could pay $33 for those kind of leads, you would do that all day long, right?
Mm-hmm. So the question then becomes, for someone like you or me or Chuck or people who actually are the ultimate power users or ultimate like best customers for someone like this, would $33 be actually an incentive to want to do this to the 10 focus blocks?
I mean, people do stupid thing. Like, people take jobs because they go into the interview, like, and then they're like, oh, let me show you the break room. We have it stocked with soda, all the soda that you can drink, and candy. And they're like, oh shit, well, I want that job because it has the break room with the free candy. Right. People will do that. So like, to get a $33 gift card, that's why it might even be better to make it a mystery amount, if it's like, but still people will see that as a challenge, is to, I need to do these 10 sessions so I can get my gift card.
Or maybe we could do it such that you pay $33 upfront, and then we'll give you $33 as soon as you're done with your 10 sessions in the first week.
The problem is that will close the top of the funnel. It will narrow it, because there'll be less people willing to do that. Like I said, if you should be willing to pay $33 for a lead that has gone through 10 sessions. That's, you know what I mean? Like, now you're looking for an uber qualified lead, someone who's already paid money and who's, and that one you don't even need to pay for. Like, those people would have converted anyway. you see what I'm saying? Like, those are your top prospects anyway. You're not gonna increase their conversion much, because those people are already dedicated, right? So I think it's better to just have your funnel as wide as possible and say, okay, well, if someone does 10 sessions, they're a super qualified lead, it's worth paying $33 for it. And you could prove it out and see if that's wrong. If it turns out that, I mean, you're not going to lose a shit ton of money if you're wrong. Like, you would perhaps pay a few people.
So here's another way to look at it. And I'm just like brainstorming here. Maybe we make them pay $33 for the month. But when you tell them is, if you do 10 sessions, we will give you $66 back in a gift card. So not only will I pay for the month,
I
we'll
see.
also get an extra month. So that makes them pay, but then also gives them an incentive to be like, oh shit, this is actually going to, and that becomes like,
okay,
they're still getting a month for free. Or
and it qualifies them. So the only way, so you can do this, okay, but the way you have to do this is your whole marketing message, the whole advertisement means it has to be based around this one. Because remember, it's the offer, right? The irresistible offer, which is this: we will pay you $33 to try focus blocks, to use focus blocks, right? And then the fine print is kind of like, you pay $33 and then we'll send you a gift card for $66, right? But no one's going to really care about that fine print, except for the people that are like trying to take advantage of you. Because if it's a reasonable person, they will look at that and they'll be like, oh, okay, that's not a problem. I'll pay $33 and get $66. That's a good deal. So that could work really well, but you have to not make it complicated. You only have to put that at the end. You have to sell it without explaining that other part. Because if you try to explain that other part, it's going to be too complicated. People are going to think it's a scam. It's going to be weird. Just say, we will pay you $33 to use focus blocks. Make that the whole ad. And then at the end, the checkout, then you can explain the fine details. Like, you're going to pay for the first month subscription, and then we will send you a $66 gift card,
Okay.
Yep.
I'm torn between that though, and just opening it up and just, free trial and just give you a $33 gift card, because you will definitely get more people with that. But I would still use the same approach, right? I mean, you could even do the same exact marketing and you could A/B test it. You could have one group of cohorts where either way, the message is still, we'll pay you to use focus blocks, right? We'll pay you $33 to use focus blocks. But you could have one where they go to a checkout where they paid the 33 and you're going to give them a $66 gift card and you explain it there. Or you could have one where they go to checkout and they pay $0 and then you give them a card.
Should I do $0 or should I do $1? because the payment actually changes the game, right? It establishes them as someone who's actually going to pay and has a credit card and has actually a system that works, and it's going to all go through, compared to people who are like, who are going to show up from places where they don't even have a credit card or don't even have a payment system, and it's just not going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the $1 makes sense in that case, right? It's just, it does create a barrier of entry of them having to put in the credit card details, right? There was some tests done between, like, should you do a $7 trial where you take the credit card information up front, or you do it afterwards when the trial expires? And I had seen some data showing that afterwards worked better.
Oh, so that's the 7-day free trial. So it's basically what Russell Brunson's doing sometimes. He does like, pay me after.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the conference. It's $200 in value.
Yeah.
Don't pay anything today. After the conference is ended, let me know.
Yeah.
If you like
he has
it.
a term for that. It's a reverse something. I can't remember.
Reverse sale or something like that.
Yeah.
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 So
Reverse
don't pay
funnel.
me anything right now, huh?
It was reverse funnel anyway.
Yeah, reverse funnel. Yeah, something like that. It's like, don't pay me anything right now. If we go through this, if you like it for 7 days, do it. If you don't like it, just, we will not charge you anything. But if you don't like it, if you don't like it, we won't charge you anything. We'll cancel it. It's game over. But if you do the 10 blocks, we'll not only, like, we will give you a credit card. Like, it's basically something along the lines of getting them to use it. And only if they use it and they like it, do they pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So what you could do is you could say at the end of the trial, if you did the 10 blocks, well, but so you don't want to restrict it to only people who do the 10 blocks, right? You'd have to make it like, in order to get your Amazon gift card, you need to put in your credit card information, sign up for the,
Yeah. So for you to get the reverse funnel is always like that. You still have to put your credit card in there.
Yeah.
They just don't charge that credit card till later, right?
I don't know. I've seen it where they don't even have you put the credit card in until the trial's up, because that has a higher conversion rate of people coming into the funnel.
That's interesting. So you're saying, I just give people a free all access pass to Focus Blocks for a week. And then say at the end of the week, if you want, be a member and pay up. If not, no big deal. Go away.
Yeah.
But there has to be the key is to get them to use it. Right.
Right.
People
so that's why your best. So think of it this way. Here's a good way to think about it. Right. We know that the best way to sell is to have an irresistible offer. So the offer counts for 80%, right? So what's the best possible offer you could get? The best possible offer would be, we will pay you $33 to use Focus Blocks, right? So you give them that offer, okay? And then you basically say, and you make it, and it doesn't cost you anything to run Focus Block, like to have more people in Focus Blocks, right? So if people want to like take advantage of you, let's say, the only thing it costs you is the Amazon gift card, let's say, right? I mean, which we're assuming that you're going to get more people, but like for them to actually be on the Focus Block, you don't care, because it actually just makes Focus Blocks more valuable because there's more people on it, right? So it makes it seem like there's more people, even if some of them aren't paying or have no intention of paying. So it's not a bad thing for you to give away something for free in this case, and then you're going to get the people that want to pay and continue using it. So I'm leaning towards just being completely open, just being like, you have the strongest offer possible, which is we will pay you $33 to use Focus Blocks. You make it so that they have to sign up for 10 sessions to do that. You don't even take their credit card up front, and then you just, once they once the trial's over, then you present them with, okay, here you go, pay for this.
So don't take any credit card information at all.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, you can try, I mean, because we've talked through a couple of different approaches. You can try the different approaches and see which ones stick just over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm trying to figure out the Father's Day promotion right now for Focus Blocks, and I'm trying to figure out what's the ultimate, like what's a good promotion to run this weekend.
Yeah.
And maybe the Amazon gift card might be too complicated to run this weekend. It's not really complicated. It's pretty straightforward. But it's like, I should probably start with my customers initially and see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would just make it blanket, because it's not going to be like, you're not going to get bad results.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get a bunch of users who are not going to be able to afford Focus Blocks. That I know for sure.
That, which is fine, because you'll have a bunch of them. You'll be essentially paying them to make Focus Blocks looks more popular by having them do 10 sessions, right? Like,
Yeah.
it'll help convert your sales conversion and make the whole thing more, the more people on there, the more valuable it is, really. So and those people are not gonna, I mean, some people will be dedicated to do 10 sessions, but those might be good word of mouth people too. They might like tell their friends about it, even if they can't afford it. So and you could always take those people and give them a special offer too, right? So, okay, let's say you have people that do 10 sessions and get the Amazon gift card, right? You could always go back to them, right? And you could say, you could send them an email and say, hey, wanted to figure out why you didn't sign up for Focus Blocks. I know you did the 10 sessions, you got the Amazon gift card. And then you could be like, you could have like this blanket thing, or you could find out from them and then you could start. But let's say that most of the time it'll be, oh, well, I live in a third world country, I can't afford $33 a month. It's like paying $300 a month. Then you could say, well, how about if I give you Focus Blocks for a year for $100? Then you've gotten your 33 back, and you've gotten some, and you've made a sale on someone that you wouldn't have made a sale on, right? I mean, you could literally offer them Focus Blocks for the whole year for the $33 if you had to, and get your money back. And they would, I mean, that's an almost absolute yes. But I think you could do like $100 offer.
And that basically means that just getting someone to put their credit card in is probably enough of a qualification.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't even put the credit card in before they sign up, then there is no qualification there.
That's what I'm saying, is you don't even need that qualification, perhaps.
Well, if we just have that, because that person who comes back and like person who does 10 Focus Blocks and says, oh, I can't even afford this. And you say, okay, how about I give it to you for $100 for a year? And they're like, well, I can't even pay for something like this. Then it's a total waste of time for everyone, right? So instead, if we qualified them with just the $1 initial investment, and we say, put down $1 today, do it for a week. And if you do it for a week, we'll give you $33 back.
Yeah. And we'll refund you your $1 if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to need to refund $1 for most people, but just offer, just be like, we'll even refund you your $1 if you don't like it.
So that would be a $1 trial for a week. So I don't even put them in a month, right?
Yeah.
I just want to give them a tight window of time in which they must use it and get.
But are they going to, I think you have to mess with the numbers. I don't know if 10 Focus Blocks in a week is realistic.
Yeah. That is the ideal. Like when we get people to do, so that's like two Focus Blocks a day for 5 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What we have seen is like our power users, like once someone starts showing up for more than a couple of anyone who starts showing up for 2 Focus Blocks a day, they are converted for, like, they're basically ready to upgrade to annual if a deal is presented to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they have already bought into the value that they're getting out of that.
Well, okay. I mean, then try that out and see. I'm just trying to think, like 10 Focus Blocks in a week. I mean, if you got someone into 5 Focus Blocks in a week, would that be enough to?
I mean, okay, so now we're lowering the bar for people to qualify, right? which is interesting, but it doesn't get enough of a stick, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Getting
yeah,
that stickiness is important. Getting them to use it multiple times a day to get them into the groove is important.
Yeah.
To get them,
because you got to think about people that are working regular jobs. They're maybe going to build you like one focus block a day.
If
right?
they don't
maybe
do
two.
multiple focus blocks a day, they're not going to be able to get as much all the time.
I guess they could do this at their regular job, right? So there's, I'm thinking, yeah, so that makes sense. That makes more sense than for them to do 2 a day. And you just need to make it clear to them that it's not just side projects, that they can do this at their regular job. So
yeah.
I guess we better wrap up here.
Yeah, I've got a work meeting that I've got to get to. So, but yeah, interesting stuff for sure.
We need to do our call again, Chuck.
We do. We definitely do.
Yeah. And John, do you want to, we're working on the sales page, improving it dramatically.
Okay.
Do you want to run something in the next few weeks?
Oh yeah. I definitely want to do something. Shoot me an email with like some of the, like all the stuff that you've got for it, like the marketing and stuff. And then I'll connect with, or if you wanted to connect with Tim directly, but I was going to forward it to Tim and then we can put it on the schedule.
Tim is still talking to me.
Maybe go through me and I'll get it set up. And then, because we should do it for Simple Programmer. Let's start with Simple Programmer.
It's going to be a shoe-in for both.
Yeah, let's start with Simple Programmer and then we'll do Bulldog. Yeah, because I got some promos going on Bulldog right now.
Yeah, I saw that. The testimonial guys.
The oh yeah. I've trying that. I don't know if I got any referrals there yet, but
that's a tough one, man, because your audience might be too early in the business to get to that stage where they can spend money on testimonial videos and things like that, right? This is more like for mature business audience, basically. People who are probably already making 6 figures in their business.
Yeah, I think we're just sending 1 or 2 emails just to see, because those people, it's not worth the full promo. So
yeah, it's hard because it's good for a very specific audience, at least a 6-figure business audience for sure.
Yeah.
But the Bulldog mindset, that you might have a lot of newbie entrepreneurs there as well. Or yeah.
All right. Yeah, we better.
All right.
My thought is simple. It's just pick one KPI and focus on it. That's it. Like always, just pick one damn thing and then just focus on improving that one thing.
Yeah, that's kind of where my head is at too. I can focus on one goal and get crap done, but if I try and chase too many things, then yeah, everything suffers. Yeah. But at the same time, I still feel like you should be looking at the long term and be planning for that and thinking about where you're going to head. But I do like just the idea of just focusing on one thing.
Yeah. My thought is that marketing is a game of simplification. What I mean by that is, like, it's easy to get lost in marketing and put marketing out there that is still not simple enough. It's easy to put out marketing that's complicated, that's not as clear in its messaging. The hard work is to distill your messaging and make it super simple. Yeah. And until that messaging is super simple, you don't really connect with the audience, and your business is like, you're not making as much money. So, and that simplification takes a lot of time and effort and energy, right? And that means, like, it's very hard to have multiple offers running at the same time, because you just can't simplify all the offers all the time doing that. So all of your marketing, all of my marketing has to become simpler and simpler and simpler. That's kind of the game that I'm playing every single day. Whether it's an ad, whether it's the copy on the sales page, whether it's an email, like, we should be able to distill, like, I should be able to say one sentence that whoever listens to the sentence, they're like, okay, this is for me. Right.
Yep.
And I still feel like I don't have it. And I'm still like searching. I'm still like every day thinking about simplification across the board here. So.
Yep.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
All
Yep.
right.